Hello everyone, my name is Neeraj Patundikar. I have completed engineering in information technology and right now I am a student in MIL Academy. And today I am going to give a presentation of web application security. I have made a small presentation on web application security. The topics or the attacks that I will be covering here is not listed in the OWASP top 10 but still are very prevalent across web. The first one is the directory traversal attack. What exactly is directory traversal attack? It basically allows a malicious user to traverse the directory. That is, he can move across various directories in a particular drive. Then it is basically an HTTP exploit. That is, it sends an unvalidated URL to the web server and causes it to be executed at there. It is also a web server software vulnerability. You can commonly find this vulnerability in Microsoft IIS versions. As we all know that all the web pages are stored in root directory. For example, in Microsoft, it is stored in inetpub www root directory, whereas in Linux it is stored in var www directory. It basically allows an attacker to gain access to those files in directory that are restricted, and also allows them to manipulate those data. The ultimate goal of this attack is to access those files that are system level files that should not be accessible. For example, in Windows it could be command.exe. In Linux, it could be a password file. Now, let us look at the scenario how an attacker can carry out this attack. Basically, first the attacker sends an HTTP request for a page, which is a normal request, and he will get the appropriate response for it. But now the attacker will look at the URL, and he will come to know that there is a file called file.asp, which is basically a script, and he is trying to access a file called list1.html that is stored in the web server. So the conclusion he will make from this is that in order to retrieve a file, the script is making access to a web server. So he will try to craft the URL in such a way that he should able to access other directory as well, like I will be showing now. Consider this URL. There is the same script file, that is file.asp, and followed by it is a %filec. %filec basically is an escape code, that is anything after that will be executed as it is on the web server. Escape code basically gives the escape character, which is the directory /. Now looking at the below figure, we can come to a conclusion like an HTTP request is made to a www root folder, then it goes to inetpub directory, then to a main file, then it comes to Windows and then to system32, which eventually execute the command.exe file, and he will be able to list out each and every file in that directory. But here is the catch, that how the attacker will come to know that what is to be written in the URL. This is basically attacker has to try each and every combination out there, so he will be able to access those files. Now we will look at some of the countermeasures. First one is to put root directory in different drive, because this attack won't work across drives. Second is to prevent the escape code, that is normalize all the character. Escape code should not be there in the URL. Third one is that any character in the URL that is requesting for a file, that should be contained in the document root. Otherwise the access should not be given. And the last one is to ensure that the web server is of latest version and should be updated regularly. The next topic is web ripping. Web ripping is more of a tool, and as the name suggests, it rips off the entire structure of a website where the target website name is given. It basically injects a spider, which is a bot actually, which all search engine kind of uses. It actually finds and extracts all the document, pictures, videos and other media from a specified website. That documents or other media can be confidential. It may or may not be confidential. It also allows to specify the depth. That means that if a particular file is written at a very base level, or what we call at a very deep level, then by specifying that file can also be extracted. It basically gives the structure of the entire website by following all its files and links within those files. We will look at the example. Here I have considered an example for a tool which is Black Widow. Here when the website name is given, it tries to inject the spider and rips out the entire structure of that website into your hard disk, and you can view each and every file what that website contains. This is basically attacker uses this kind of tool to gain basic knowledge of how that website is functioning and what are the files and subdirectories, and also tries to find vulnerabilities in them. And this vulnerability can be later used to craft a more bigger attack. Now we will see at some of the countermeasures. Put appropriate access control mechanism. That is, based on the sensitivity of a document or a file, you can password protect it or you can even encrypt it. Include a robot.txt file. This actually basically tells the spider that this particular file is not accessible by them. But in some cases there are malware spiders which also bypass this kind of files. And the last one is do not give links to any sensitive file or folder. Basically what WebRipper does is try to follow all the links within the file. So it is better to not give links to those files or folder. That's it.